Fujian Tzu Chi volunteers visited the Zone family to help with cleaning right before Chinese New Year. Kaohsiung City Mayor Cheng Yen visited Master Cheng Yen at Kaohsiung Jingsi Hall, hoping to further cooperation with Tzu Chi. Welcome to Diet Headlines. I'm Joyce Ho. Thank you for joining us. During the winter distributions this year in Zhangzhou, Fujian, Tzu Chi volunteers came across a Zhong family where the husband was in poor health and his wife mentally disabled. More than 10 volunteers gathered to help clean up the house for a refreshing Chinese New Year.
那个床非常的脏还有没有人在冬天只睡那个板床嘛，那还有没有垫被，连衣服也没有，我们就挂念着他，就是要给他整理打扫。
It is this compassionate love that made Zhangzhou Tzu Chi volunteers step into Zhongbaowen house again after sending winter warmth.
His wife urinates directly on the bed and he didn't help her get changed and clean. As time passes, there will be stains. We're sympathetic for her, really.
When we head up the clothes and the mat, it will suck with the urine. It will drip out. It's really pitiful.
This small room has only one bed. The wife suffers from mental disorders and cannot take care of herself, and her husband does not know how to take care of her. So their home becomes like this over time.
I guess this hasn't been cleaned for more than 20 years. Otherwise, there won't be so much garbage. It's so dirty.
More than 1,000 volunteers spent 3 hours clearing out all the sundries, sorting out and clearing them in detail, and helping his wife clean up with a spongy bath. After tidying up, a neighbor finally visited the Jones.
It's very nice. Thank you for coming to help him clean the house. Thank you very much. After cleaning, it's not smelly anymore when we come here.
This is the first time in all my years alive seeing someone caring for another like you have.
Nothing can express my feeling. This room has become spacious and comfortable.
After cleaning, volunteers put a new mattress on the bed frame and at the same time giving him loving reminders. This promise is not only Zhongbaowen's gratitude towards the volunteers, but also his expectation for their future lives.
Quanzhou Fujian Tzu Chi volunteer Lin Baozhen has been committed to the recycling mission for more than 7 years. Something made her replace her stylish outfits for recyclable collections every day on a tricycle. Why? Let's take a look.
Dawn has just arrived and she's already riding her tricycle around the streets. This is 66-year-old Lin Baozhen, who is carrying recyclables often much bigger than she is. She joined the recycling mission in 2013, but she had to overcome many challenges.
She used to be really into her looks and wear skirts all the time, but after being in Tzu Chi, she changed it a lot.
Her change has been seen by her neighbors. Lin now wears a Tzu Chi blue and white uniform and is not afraid of hard work or being dirty. Only she knows why she's changed.
I was carrying a really big bag of recyclables and my arm felt sore. Then I realized I could strengthen my arm. I collect recyclables and my arm could strengthen. No one would believe me.
Lin did a lot of farming, overworked her arms, and could not straighten it. Now she's doing something she enjoys and her alignment has improved. Her family is also happier for it.
She's doing what she loves and she's happy doing it. Since she's happy, we're happy for her too.
The son and daughter-in-law also supports Lin Baozhen through action. Whenever they have free time, the three would collect recyclables together. Seeing her family supporting her in this way, Lin can't help but smile. Lin continues to ride her tricycle around town collecting recyclables and uses all her efforts to continue this mission.
On Chinese New Year's Eve last year, a fire devastated Liming recycling station in Taishan, New Taipei City. Immediately after the unfortunate event, Tzu Chi volunteers set up tents to not only continue the recycling mission, but also organize vegetarian promotion events and ceremonies as they look forward to rebuild the station.
Despite the cold weather, volunteers are still filled with energy and warmth, singing together in celebration. In the 11 months since Liming Recycling Station was destroyed in a fire, volunteers have not diminished their determination to protect the environment.
On Chinese New Year's Eve last year, the recycling station was burned to the ground in a fire. All these volunteers did not waver in their determination. They still persisted in coming to do recycling every single day. It's very touching.
There's
no restroom here, so we borrowed the restroom across the street. Volunteers come here no matter day or night, even on rainy days. Everyone works so hard to maintain the recycling station.
It doesn't matter, we still come to do recycling every day. We need to overcome the challenges.
In addition to the mission of environmental protection, volunteers also organize events such as vegetarianism promotion and Buddha Day ceremony. They harbor a strong faith that after the darkest night comes the brightest dawn.
More than 4 years ago, Taipei Xinyi Tzu Chi volunteers came to know Grandma Huang Zaichun, who was living alone after the passing of her husband. Right before Chinese New Year, the volunteers visited with red bean soup and Spring Festival couplets.
那我们今天要来的地方是那个黄大姐的家，我们每个月都会来这里跟她互动一下，小心哦。好。
The house is located halfway up Xiangxiang Mountain.
来，好，今天好漂亮，精神真好。今天有去打球吗？
Stepping into the house, volunteers continue to give caring reminders.
帽子，毛毛，很漂亮的毛毛哦。对，你看，可以这样，哎，这样漂亮吗？早上早早出门就要带着，不然你容易晕眩，1个月跌倒2次。
She almost fell twice a month. Because of this, we call her more frequently to care about her situation.
问候啊什么的，扶手用的还好吧？不错，扶手用的不错哈。
Along the corridor into the bathroom, in August last year, volunteers assisted the 70-year-old Grandma Huang to install street handrails.
After I finish, I get up like this. When I go out, I'll hold this one.
我来端。哎，进来，来免客气。
Volunteers also brought with the handmade red bean glutinous rice balls, taking advantage of the early reunion before the new year.
红豆是不小心煮的这么绵的。
今天我们是分享到你的福气，你看有这个，谢谢你们，真的谢谢。
放中间，比较不会被风吹走，然后你就给它这样顺下来。行善人间自祥和，正言法师心心无语。谢谢。
好，来，预备，还是一样嘛哈，没问题，然后放下来就讲话。
新年快乐，耶！
Apart from taking care of patients within the hospitals, Tzu Chi Medical Services also extends into the communities, visiting patients in their homes to make sure they receive help following their return from the hospital.
Holding Xiaoyu's hand and confirming her physical condition, doctors are trying to understand what caused Xiaoyu's lack of electrolyte, which caused seizure and paralyzed body parts. After treatment, Xiaoyu has less frequent seizures, but she still needs to do physical therapy as the team is here to help.
We have stabilized her electrolytes. This time we are here to check in on her physical therapy status after she returned home. I also wanted to see when we can arrange the next medical treatment for her.
In order to provide the best care to Xiaoyu after she left the hospital, the medical team collaborated with long-term care services and local Tzu Chi volunteers.
Today we are here because we have an appointment with local volunteers. Now we hand over the task to her. This really means that the care never ends.
We're worried about continuing her physical therapy, so we did that at her home. It's more convenient and she can do it until her body functions are restored.
In the past, Xiaoyu needed a walker. Now she is able to walk without one.
I want to thank them so much for treating me. They've helped me a lot in life. I must go back to Tzu Chi to volunteer in order to return this favor.
Although the cause of Xiaoyu's illness remains unclear, but the medical team continues its sincere care, hoping that she may recover and live a better life.
Kaohsiung City Mayor Chen Qi-mai and his team visited Master Cheng Yen at Kaohsiung Jingsi Hall. Both parties hope to further cooperation on senior long-term care services and to promote social welfare.
After signing the Memorandum of Understanding with Tzu Chi, Mayor of Kaohsiung Chen Qi-mai brought staff members to meet with Master Cheng Yen.
I'm grateful to Master Cheng Yen and Tzu Chi volunteers because they've helped Kaohsiung a lot. After signing the Memorandum of Understanding, I believe that both parties will be better connected.
Taiwan的水就是水的善甲爱，互我伫遮听起来，逐工就是听到善啦、爱啦，付出无所求，还要到处说感恩。现在呢，就是
Now we are doing long-term care work in Kaohsiung City.
这个工作。
As for long-term care, Master Cheng Yen hopes that seniors may find long-term care centers within reach.
创造呢，咱持续55年来啦，开始一直到现在，唔是干那讲吼，干那去甲伊看一下，希望这个老人会一直真快乐。快乐呢，就是爱有老人，有这资济人。
Long-term care services, charity, disaster prevention, and eco-friendly promotions. Kaohsiung City government promises Tzu Chi a close co-working relationship, as love will be expanded to every corner in society.
At Kaohsiung Jingsi Hall, there are 7 senior Tzu Chi volunteers that people call the 7 fairies. With an average age between 80 to 90 years old, the 7 fairies do not only undertake the daily cleaning duties, but also study Master's teachings in the weekly book club, cultivating blessings and wisdom at the same time.
That's right. For this group of grandma level 7 fairies, reading is not a joke. Once a week, the 7 fairies come to volunteers' home to study together.
Tell us stories about the Buddha and the Master's Dharma.
Everyone open the thick book and read each word. Many of the old bodhisattvas are illiterate.
I'm trying to learn some more now. Otherwise, I didn't like studying when I was a kid.
The Master has a way to explain each word so much. The Master has worked so hard and does everything with patience. We must learn from her.
What they don't understand by reading, they understand by listening, never stopping.
After trying reading, I feel calm and I won't lose my temper easily.
When they joined the club at first, they all said that I don't know how to describe the passage. I can't share. Now each of them know how to describe the section. Now everyone can express themselves.
These lovely 7 fairies have volunteered to mop the floor, and now they can sit down and read books. Their spirit is admirable.
Malacca Tzu Chi volunteers gathered 6 care recipient families at a recycling station on the Ethical Eating Day to share with them nutritious vegetarian recipes and encouraging them to change their eating habits to respect the lives of all
The wailing of animals and the scenes of being slaughtered are distressing. This is a live education class specially arranged by Malacca Tzu Chi volunteers for the care recipients.
I can see the despair in those animals' eyes, and it's so cruel for people to kill the fish by pinning it on the chopboard followed by cutting.
I heard their scream. It's really pitiful.
Turning compassion into practical action and replacing meat with vegetables. On Earth Ethical Eating Day, volunteers teach care recipients on how to cook vegetarian cuisine, encourage them to respect their lives and change their eating habits.
Because we are currently facing the pandemic, which is still severe, we have to put our health in the first priority. I will encourage my family members to eat more vegetables.
I'll try cooking vegetarian dishes when I go home, because with such simple ingredients, we can cook so delicious and fragrant dishes. I'll definitely try it at home and learn more new dishes.
Apart from responding to adopting a vegetarian diet, volunteers also encourage care recipients to do recycling.
I hope that besides going vegetarian, everyone can really do recycling. So we encourage them to come to the recycling station to have a clear and better understanding on recycling, so that they can sort recyclables at home.
Let's embrace vegetarianism and do environmental protection together to protect the earth.
In battle with Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteer Ong Ming Gong is promoting One Person, One Good Deed campaign on social media. The reminders to have good thoughts and do good deeds every day is especially important during the pandemic to accumulate kindness and blessings.
Ong Ming Gong established a chat group in order to promote the idea of one person, one good deed, asking every member within the group to do good deeds every day.
In the past, during October 13th, we went onto the streets to raise funds. But due to the pandemic this year, we're unable to invite friends physically. We do the fundraising online. But if one can't do it online, we have the bamboo coin bank. Whether it's small or big amounts, it doesn't matter. What matters is the kind thought.
Although Ong Ming Gong's friends weren't supportive of his online fundraising project, his family members gave him the greatest support.
My friends didn't respond to me, honestly. What I'm grateful for are my family members. When my brother-in-law received my message, he immediately asked me on how to donate. After his first donation, and until today when I received his record, he never stopped donating.
Before I didn't know that you can donate online, so I wanted to give him $30, but he rejected me because Master Cheng Yen said that you must donate bit by bit, not in large quantities at once.
The kindness that Ong Ming Gong has started to spread amongst his social circles.
As of now, our group has 60 members, but adding in the people who didn't join and the people who donated to their bamboo coin banks, we have 80 donating members. I'm really happy about this and hope that in the future, we can gather 108 people in the group. I believe that before Chinese New Year, I can fulfill this goal.
There are 38 species of bats in Taiwan that do not only feed on dengue fever transmitting mosquitoes, but also help maintain ecological balance. However, the abuse of pesticides has dramatically reduced the number of bats. Conservation groups in Taiwan are trying to reverse this trend and restore the ecology needed to protect this important species.
Under the Chinese fan palm, bats are hidden in daylight, leading to a pleasant surprise to many.
The lesser Asiatic yellow house bats gather here in the daytime, stacked upon one another.
The Sigu community in Chiayi has planted 35 of these Chinese fan palms, but not every tree has bats. For example, under this palm tree, there's no bat excrement left behind, but the tree in front, there's lots of excrement, which indicates a large number of bats live there. When we look up, more than 300 such bats are in this tree.
There is a popular jingle here that goes, on the tall bat tree, there are bats living up top. The bats will squeak and stack upon one another for warmth.
2 years ago, before the Chinese fan palm trees were planted in the Sigu community, local residents stumbled upon a Washington coconut tree nearby that inhabited thousands of tall bats.
When we discovered that a Washington coconut tree had more than 1,000 bats, we were very worried that if the tree fell, bats would scatter. Since the bats like this tree-like ecology, we began to plant more palms and give them more places to live.
The palm trees that these bats inhabit have to be large trees that have been growing for decades. When conservationists encountered this bottleneck, Mr. Xu Wentong, who works in gardening, donated 25 large palm trees.
This old man is very happy now that he knows that these palm trees have become a sort of paradise for bats. Now at night, they fly out one after another, which is really a spectacular sight.
Bats are colorblind and their world is only black and white, but their beautiful flight is admired by many humans.
The Sugu community has bats, and we have never had dengue fever. This is something we have never experienced here.
No one gets sick because of bats, but bats get sick when they come too close to humans.
Some bat excrement has been tested for pesticides. It turns out that it actually contains a lot of pesticide residue. This can affect their echolocation, both sending, receiving, and processing the sounds. This shows their brains may experience some corresponding damage.
This may be one of the main reasons why bats have disappeared from fields in large numbers, like the bat cave in Ruifang, New Taipei City. The number of bats dropped sharply from 500,000 to 200,000 in 10 years. The ecology of bats has been affected, and conservationists have started to rehabilitate the species.
在苏秦村这一片2分大的农地上
In Yunli Tzu Chi village, this 20,000 square feet of farmland does not use pesticides and was created as an ecological paradise for bats. Locals also work together to build a 3-story building, which is a huge bat house with palm leaves inside, which appeals to bats. It currently attracts at least 2 species of bats to settle down and live here.
吸引了2种以上的蝙蝠前来定居。
Bats will be attracted by other bats to come and live here and then come out at night to help us eat insects for free. So basically, our bat house encourages them to work in exchange for this accommodation.
The number of students at this elementary school is less than 30, but there are 100 bat houses on campus. There are hundreds of bats every day. Each bat has a lifespan of 20 to 30 years. Therefore, the bats have watched these children grow up.
有看到吗？有哈。好，小朋友，你们在里面有看过哪些生物？蝙蝠。有什么蝙蝠？黄金蝙蝠。黄金蝙蝠哪有住这吗？金黄鼠耳蝠是住哪里？树上啊，还有那个。
25 years ago, Zhang Henjia, on the first day of teaching at the school, accidentally found a Formosan golden bat in a tree on campus. He was amazed by it and turned an idle space on campus into a bat conservation area.
We successfully brought this concept of conservation in a small village in the country to present, which is a very well-known eco-pavilion in the world.
台湾呢，大概有38个种类，这边的蝙蝠总共有住过4种蝙蝠，最常见的是东亚家蝠跟高头蝠。我们要想办法让
We need to find a way to inspire the general public to accept the concept of ecological conservation of bats.
好。 那我们可以先看到这边哦，这边有那个可以触摸。
Only by knowing bats can you cherish them and learn to love them. Bats are not only a symbol of blessing, but also one of the best gifts from nature to mankind.
In Kelantan, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers deliver Jingsu folding beds to a mobile cabin hospital so the frontline medical staff can have a good rest. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.